All of the speakers here today, I can assure you, have interesting, compelling stories also to actually tell you. My route to where I am now was very straightforward, very straightforward. Maybe because I didn't have much to do as a kid, and it was exactly at your age when I was a junior in high school. I had always been very, very curious about everything around me, and I was in a biology class just at your age, when I was 16 years old, and we had all these experiments to do. One of them was to look, and I'm sure everybody was taking biology in high school, was to look at the cross-section of the onion leaf. The onion leaf. I'm sure everybody was taking. When you look, you see the onion, the leaves. You cut it and put it under the microscope and look at it, and I was just mesmerized at the geometry, the precision of everything under that in that leaf. Keep in mind that when you're a junior, you've taken geometry, trigonometry, so you know all of the shapes and all that. And to just look at every shape in your geometry class is all represented under this microscope with the onion leaf. And I said to myself, well, this is not an accident, and it's also in terms of my faith. Not that I'm much of a very serious religious person. Said to me that there must be God, there must be a force that's behind this precision. The reason why I'm saying that is that 2 years before that, in my neighborhood, we had a guy, a young man, but you know, I was 16, so he probably was 23. He was much older, and he went around every evening. He had a book, and he walked around the neighborhood, and everybody would say to each other, please don't ask him any questions about God, otherwise he would disprove that God does not exist. So we all said, no, so you better don't ask him any questions, because he had all the proof. And so here am I'm looking at this. I said, wow, I wonder what he has in his book to disprove that God doesn't exist. And whereas I'm looking at this, and it's saying to me that God exists, God must have created this. At the same time, we also had another class, part of this biology class, in which we had to get the frogs. And my school was, there's a stream that ran behind the school, and we can catch frogs. We play little tricks with the frogs and all that. And when the frogs have their eggs, you squeeze the eggs out of the frogs, and you observe them over time. You change the water, the saline, the salt water, and you change it over time, and you observe, and you cut them, and see how, first of all, then you also squeeze the sperm out of the male frog, they fertilize, you watch the embryo, the zygote, divide into 2, divide into 4, divide into multiple cells and all that. And all that precision and all that timing of development was just overwhelming for me. And I got very curious, because before then, I was very good at science. I was also very good in the classics. And knowing, I should mention to you that I was born and grew up in Nigeria, so I'm from Nigeria. And our educational system is slightly different. We spend more time with the hard stuff in high school than in college. When you go to college, to university, you go socialize, and so find a fiancé or whatever, but most of your studying is usually in high school. So I could recite the epic of Homer, the fall of Trojan horse and all that in Latin for you. That's how. So in terms of how we studied in classes. So for me, I was destined, or thought in my head, that I'd love to be a lawyer, because I could quote. If you are familiar with the British system, when you go to court, it's like a theater, a drama. The lawyers come with their wigs and all that, and everybody quotes Latin and stuff like that. So that's what I was looking forward to. I went to college, and I went to undergrad at University of Minnesota, and I was so sure that I was going to do that, except in my freshman class, my teaching assistant in my English class did not have to read the Shakespeare out of the books. So I decided to major in chemistry, not because it was anything different, because of my brother-in-law. And my brother-in-law was a chemist, and he had an impressive title, an agricultural chemist. So then I took a course in microbiology from an old man by the name of Franklin Wallace. And he had traveled all over the world, and he had the slice of everything that was wrong with the human body, with diseases, infectious diseases, in China, anyway. And I was just mesmerized, and I said, wow, for every slide that he showed, I could relate to it. Said, back home, Nigeria, I knew somebody who had this, I knew somebody who had tuberculosis, I knew somebody who blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so I sold on that. So I decided to change course, and then decided to look into the health sciences. Well, of course, I went on to get a PhD and all that, and went on to work at the National Institute of Health at NIH, and did a lot of things and worked with the World Health Organization and all that. Again, just like Dr. Haskins said, that learning is a lifelong. Then I hit a roadblock, because at the World Health Organization, you are all familiar that the World Health Organization does health issues all over the world. Then I applied for a job, and then I realized during that interview that I must have a public health degree, otherwise I would be a technical officer. I could never be a manager. And so I decided that, if I ever go by the corner of any public school of public health, I will get a public health degree. You don't have to graduate from college before you start thinking about what you need to do, whether it's in engineering, medicine, and all that. You must ask for help. If you didn't ask for help, you already failed. You already failed. So there's no pride in failing. So all of us need help, all of us. As I was coming up, I have mentors, just like Dr. Haskins said to you. I have mentors who helped me all along, that I could go back and said, well, look, this is what you need to do, and that's what you need to do. So we all do that. And that's why all of us who are here today, who are speakers, have volunteered to be your mentors, so to be your resources. And but you must do your part. You must, in terms of how you go to college, how you apply, and your parents and your counselors and Nicholas will take care of that for you. But whatever you do, you must do it well. You must do it with pride and distinction. And in order to do that, you must work hard. There's no substitute for hard work, and it pays. So that's all I have to tell you.